Hey everybody, this is the test remediation for blocks 4 and 5, regular classes. So here we go. Most missed problems on the test. Let's make sure we're watching the video and we have the volume up. You can go ahead and put a heart next to question number T1 here. And here we go. We've got a function here, 3x squared plus px minus 6, and we're looking for the value of p. They say the function has a 0 of 3. The trick is knowing that a 0 is the same thing as an x-intercept, so that is the ordered pair 3, 0 on the graph. So we know now that x is 3 and y is 0. And now we're going to substitute those into the function and we'll find p. So let's write this down. F of x equals 3x squared plus px minus 6. F of x, that is the same thing as a y. And now we're going to substitute. Instead of a y, we're going to plug in a 0. And instead of the x, we're going to plug in a 3. And then we're going to plug a 3 in here, and that'd be 3 times p, or 3p, and then we're going to bring down the minus 6. So now if you'll notice, there's only one variable now. It's the p, and we're going to solve for that. So we square the 3, and we get 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. Plus 3p minus 6 equals 0. We're going to combine like terms, so I'm going to combine the 27 and the negative 6, and I'm just going to bring the 3p down, and 27 and negative 6 gives me a positive 21. And now I need to solve for p, so I'm going to move the 21 to the other side of the equation. I'm going to subtract 21 from both sides. And 0 minus 21 is a negative 21. And last step, we're going to divide both sides by 3. And we get p equals negative 7. Okay, so make sure you show your work over here to find p. All right, next most missed problem. We're told that the function has a 0 at x equals negative 4/5. Which one of these would be the factor for negative 4/5? So what we have to do is we set the factor equal to 0. So set each factor equal to 0, and we're going to solve it. So we're going to set 4x minus 5 equal to 0. We're going to set 4x plus 5 equal to 0. We're going to come down here and set 5x minus 4 equal to 0 and 5x plus 4 equal to 0. And we're going to solve them all and see which one gives us our 0 at negative 4/5. So here I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So I get 4x equals 5. I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and I get 5/4. So that doesn't match. It's negative 4/5. So let's subtract 5 on both sides here. And we get 4x equals negative 5. We're going to divide both sides by 4, and we get negative 5/4. That doesn't match. Okay. We're going to add 4 to both sides. We get 5x equals 4. We're going to divide by 5. We get x equals 4/5. Almost, but it needs to be negative 4/5. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. And we get 5x equals negative 4. We're going to divide both sides by 5, and we get x is negative 4/5. So this is the factor that leads to a 0 of negative 4/5. Okay, make sure you show all the work to set all of these equal to 0. Go ahead and put a star next to question T2. All right, for this fella, we are finding the average rate of change, and hopefully by now we know that this is slope. The trick is if we have a function that is not linear, the slope is not the same everywhere. So we have to find the average rate of change, and we have to be given the interval. So we want to take the average rate of change, or the slope, over x equals 2 and x equals 13. So it's actually telling us which ordered pairs to use. X equals 2 and x equals 13. And now we can do because average rate of change is the same thing as the slope. So we're going to do the BBBS, down, up, down, up. And we're going to simplify. The top gives me a -9. And the bottom gives me a -11, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive 9/11. Okay, go ahead and draw a flower at the bottom of the page here. All right, last one. This is a comparison question, and you're going to have a lot of those. It says Eduardo compared this function, f of x, to this function, g of x. So he's comparing them. And what are we comparing? Well, let's read further. What is the smallest zero of the two functions? Okay. So, in the graph, we've got a 0 of -5. We have a 0 of +4. Okay. In the function, we have to set each one equal to 0 and solve it to get our zeros. So we're going to do x minus 3 equals 0. And we're going to do x plus 7 equals 0. We're going to solve these to get our zeros. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. And we get x equals 3. We're going to subtract 7 from both sides. And we get x equals -7. So these are my zeros for f of x, and then these are my zeros for g of x, and I want the smallest one. So we've got a -5 and a -7. The smallest one is going to be -7. All right. If you're listening, draw a triangle down here at the bottom of the sheet. Y'all have a good day.